So we had finished yesterday's chapter, but the points of power were yet to be read. So points of power. Life presents everything to you for you to choose what you love. If someone has something you want, be as excited as though you have it. If you feel love for it, you are bringing the same thing to you. When you see the things you want, you are on the same frequency as those things. Life's catalog contains things you don't love, so don't choose them by giving bad feelings. Turn away from the things you don't love and don't give them any feeling. Instead, say yes when you see something you love. The law of attraction is responding to your feelings. It's only what you give that counts. The law of attraction is the law of you. Give judgment and criticism, and you give it to yourself. Give love and appreciation to another person or anything, and you give it to yourself. When people see a lack of anything, it's simply a lack of love. You are good enough now. If you have done something that wasn't right, your realization and acceptance of it is absolution for the law of attraction. It's your beliefs, true or untrue, that form your world. Your imagination is more real than the world you see, because the world you see comes from what you imagine and believe. What you believe and feel to be true is what will be your life. Whatever story you tell, whether good or bad, will be the story of your life. So start telling the story of your amazing life, and the law of attraction must make sure you receive it. New chapter, keys to power. Your most precious, valued possessions and your greatest powers are invisible and intangible. No one can take them. You and you alone can give them. You will receive abundance for your giving. W. Clement Stone, 1902 to 2002, author and businessman. The keys to power are the most powerful ways to harness the force of love and receive the life you're meant to live. They are so simple and easy, any child can follow them. Each key will unlock the immense power within you. Now, this chapter talks about 3 keys. So we will be taking one key every day so that we get to the details and the depth of that particular key of power. So the first key is the key of love. To use love as the ultimate power in your life, you must love like you have never loved before. Fall in love with life. However much you have loved in your life, double that feeling. Multiply that feeling by 10 times. Multiply it by 100 times, 1,000 times, and 1,000,000 times. Because that is the level of love you are capable of feeling. There is no limit, no ceiling to the amount of love you can feel, and it is all inside you. You are made of love. It is the very substance and nature of you, life, and the universe. And you can love far more than you've ever loved before, and far more than you have imagined. When you fall in love with life, every limitation disappears. You break the limitations on money, health, happiness, and the limits of joy in your relationships. Thank you. When you fall in love with life, you have no resistance. And whatever you love appears in your life almost instantaneously. Your presence will be felt when you walk into a room. Opportunities will pour into your life, and your slightest touch will dissolve negativity. You will feel better than you thought it was possible to feel. You will be filled with unlimited energy, excitement, and an unquenchable zest for life. You will feel as light as a feather, like you're floating on air, and everything you love will just seem to fall at your feet. Fall in love with life, unleash the power within you, and you will become unlimited and invincible. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. Hafiz, 1315 to 1390, Sufi poet. So, how do you fall in love with that? The same way you fall in love with another person. You adore everything about them. You fall in love with another person by seeing only love, hearing only love, speaking only love, and by feeling love with all your heart. And that is exactly how you use the ultimate power of love to fall in love with life. Whatever you're doing, whatever you are in your day, look for the things you love. You can look for technology and inventions you love. Look for buildings you love, cars and roads you love, cafes and restaurants you love, stores you love. Walk down a street or through a store with the intention of finding as many things as you can that you love. Look for things you love about other people. Look for everything you love in nature, birds, trees, flowers, perfumes, and the colors of nature. See what you love, hear what you love, speak what you love. Now, what is the author trying to say here? Now, this is level 2 of this book. अभी तक हम हर चीज के बारे में समझने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. What is above the line feelings? How are they helping us in creation? How is it that we can get onto that frequency? Now, with getting that stage of being slightly more consciously aware and realizing and remembering that all consequences are a result of our choices, we are now choosing what we love. Level 1 tak, we were just exploring things. How does it work? There is a choice, there is a consequence. Above the line feelings, below the line feelings, process of creation, good feelings, bad feelings. Now, stepping on to level 2, when we are now more aware than what we were before we started the book. Now, since we are now more aware, we are more consciously aware of ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings. Now is the time to make that choice. We make that choice now. We will choose everything. We will look for everything we love. We will look for everything that excites us. Because if you are aware, where do we take that awareness to? The awareness needs to match the choice and the intent. Knowing that you have working with you a force which never yet has failed in anything it has undertaken, you can go ahead in the confident knowledge that it will not fail in your case either. Robert Collier, 1885 to 1950, New Thought author. Think about what you love. Talk about what you love. Do what you love to do. Because when you're doing all of these things, you are feeling love. Talk about the things you love about your home, your family, your spouse, and children. Talk about the things you love about your friends. Tell them what you love about them. Talk about the things you touch, smell, and taste that you love. Tell the law of attraction what you love every day by singling out the things you love and feeling them. I repeat, tell the law of attraction what you love every day by singling out the things you love and feeling them. Just think about how much love you can give in one day by feeling the things you love. When you walk down the street, look for the things you love in other people. When you look in stores, look for the things you love. Say, I love that outfit. I love those shoes. I love the color of the person's eyes. I love that person's hair. I love that person's smile. I love those cosmetics. I love that smell. I love this store. I love that table, lamp, couch, rug, sound equipment, coat, gloves, tie, hat, and jewelry. I love the smell of summer. I love the trees in fall. I love the flowers in spring. I love that color. I love this street. I love this city. Look for the things you love in situation, events, and circumstances and feel those things. I love getting phone calls like that. I love getting emails like that. I love hearing good news like that. I love this song. I love seeing people happy. I love laughing with other people. I love driving to work listening to music. I love being able to relax on the train or the bus. I love the festivals in my city. I love celebrations. I love life. Look for the things you love on every subject that lightens up your heart and feel the deepest love you can. If you are not feeling good and you want to change the way you feel, or if you want to lift good feelings higher, then take a minute or two and go through a mental list of everything you love and adore. You can do it while getting dressed in the morning, walking, driving, or traveling anywhere. It's such a simple thing to do, but the effect in your life will be amazing. Make a written list of everything you love, which I urge you to do every month in the beginning and then at least every 3 months. Include the places you love, the cities, the countries, the people you love, colors you love, styles you love, qualities and people you love, companies you love, services you love, sports you love, athletes you love, music you love, animals you love, flowers, plants, and trees you love. List all the material things you love from all the different types of clothes you love, homes, furniture, books, magazines, newspaper, cars, appliances, to all the different foods you love. Think about the things you love to do and list them all, such as dancing, playing a sport, going to galleries, concerts, parties, shopping. List the movies you love, vacation, and restaurants you love. When one has once fully entered the realm of love, the world, no matter how imperfect, becomes rich and beautiful. It consists solely of opportunities for love. Soren Abbé Kierkegaard, 1813 to 1855, philosopher. Your job is to love as much as possible every day. If you can just love and adore everything you possibly can today, look for and feel the things you love and turn away from the things you don't love. Your tomorrows will overflow with the untold happiness of everything you want and love. Love is the master key that opens the gates of happiness. Oliver Wendell Holmes, 1809 to 1894, Dean of Harvard Medical School. It's important that, we surround ourselves. It's about making a conscious choice. Whenever you see things or whatever, wherever you are going, each and everything is available. There will be love, there will be hatred, there will be fear, there will be gratitude. Each and everything is available. All emotions on above the lines, all emotions below the line, everything is available. Life is a full kitty. The basket is complete. But getting from a normal premise to a premise of being consciously aware, we make the choice. Abhi tak we were being guided by the choice from a premise of an unconscious mind. We were choosing it, but we never realized why we were choosing it. It was just happening. So now, when we are in that premise of ourselves taking the control of our life and being consciously aware, are making that choice in that premise and choosing each and everything that we want and that we feel is love and is above the line for us. Choices pehle bhi thi. You are making choices every time. What you're thinking and how you're giving it your feelings, that choice is being made. But earlier, the choice was being made in which you thought you had no say. Or even if you thought you had a say, it was working in a very unconscious premise. But now, coming from a premise of being consciously aware, now you make that choice. Now you will see the difference. Yeah, because now you're aware. Yeah, this is negative. This is positive. This is giving me good vibes. This is not giving me good vibes. Okay, no, this is giving me bad vibes. I need to change. So then you purposefully, intentionally make that choice of love and above the line all around you in all situations, be it work, be it house, be it shopping, be it outside with the kids, anywhere you're going. You're making that consciously aware choice of love and all the things around you and choosing love. Love is being alert. You have to be alert to feel the love of everything around you. You have to be aware of everything that's around you to love. Otherwise, you will miss things. You have to be alert to see the things that you love. You have to be alert to hear the sounds that you love. You have to be alert to catch the beautiful smells of flowers as you walk past them. You have to be alert to really taste the food you're eating and feel the fullness of the flavors. If you're walking down the street listening to the thoughts in your head, you miss it all. And that's what happens to people a lot of the time. They hypnotize themselves by listening to the thoughts in their head. And so they are in a kind of trance and they are not aware of anything around them. Have you ever been walking down the street and suddenly a good friend yelled out your name and you were startled because you hadn't seen him? Or maybe you saw a friend and you had to call out her name a couple of times and suddenly she jumped with a start when she saw you. Your calling her name woke her up because she was not aware of being on the street, but was lost in a trance, listening to the thoughts in her head. Have you ever been in a car traveling and suddenly you looked around and realized you were close to your destination, but you didn't remember traveling a big part of the distance? You had hypnotized yourself by listening to your thoughts and you were lost in a trance. The good news is that the more you give love, the more alert and aware you will become. Love brings complete alertness as you make a conscious effort to notice as many things around you that you love as you can each day. You will become more aware and more alert. How to keep your mind focused on love. Clarity of mind means clarity of passion too. This is why a great and clear mind loves ardently and sees distinctly what it loves. Blaise Pascal, 1623 to 1662, mathematician and philosopher. One way to stay alert is to trick your mind by asking questions such as, what can I see that I love? How many things can I see that I love? What else is there that I love? What can I see that thrills me? What can I see that excites me? What can I see that I'm passionate about? Are there more things I can see that I love? What can I hear that I love? When you ask your mind questions, your mind can't help itself and it gets busy right away to give you the answers. It stops other thoughts immediately so as to come up with the answers to your questions. Now, this is a very interesting thing here. Your mind is a complete chatterbox. It'll keep on, you know, saying something or the other. So once you're involved in that conversation with your mind, now a very clear distinction. You are yourself and there is a mind which is yours. So you are having a conversation with your mind. So you are not your mind. You are different, your mind is different. But that complete conversation of the mind, also referred to as the egoistic mind, is where you get on to being unconscious and being unaware of what is happening around. जब हम उस माइंड के साथ इतनी बात करनी शुरू कर देते हैं and we are so much engrossed in that conversation, we are unaware and unalert of whatever is happening around us. That is the state of unconscious, where the mind takes control. And mind is supposed to be working for you. not making you work. God has given you this mind and this body. What you need to do as a human on this school of earth is to make the best of that mind and that body and keep them in balance, and not having the mind take control of you. जब आप माइंड के साथ उसके सी माइंड इज अ वेरी ट्रिकी गाय ओके माइंड यू बिलीव यू मी इट्स अ वेरी ट्रिकी गाय it will make sure that by hook or by crook it is going to glue you itself in terms of conversation, in terms of it'll somehow pop up, no, no, this is something which is not good, you're going to get hurt. So many conversations it'll have. The only purpose of the mind is to not make you consciously aware. So the more you get to a state of being consciously aware, the more you get to a state which is called awareness, consciousness, alertness, mindfulness. So we need to understand the mind in order to get rid of the mind. When they say he's in a state of no mind, that is a state where the mind has no control over you. And your mind is now perfectly in your own control, and you can now make the best use of your mind. And once you are asking the questions, mind gets confused. What happens with the mind is जब हम कांस्टेंट क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहते हैं ना माइंड से, वहां मैसेज यूनिट ओवरलोड हो जाता है. इट गेट्स कंफ्यूज्ड. So once there is a message unit overload in the mind, it is in a state where, in technical terms, the critical filter breaks, and the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, the door between them gets opened. That's a door for the memories of the conscious mind to slip into the subconscious mind. So kahin na kahin, both subconscious and conscious, subconscious mind and the conscious mind are kind of merging together. So once that happens, that is the state where the mind has no control, because there are so many message units, it gets confused. So the easiest way to confuse your mind is to start asking questions. वो क्वेश्चन में उलझ जाएगा, and let it be. Then you will get that clarity. भैया मुझे क्या चाहिए? And what is it that I love? That is it what I need to choose.
Arjun, one question. Sometimes your mind is troubling you with stuff which it's creation, right? That's what my understanding is. But you get so convinced that, oh, whatever it's saying is right. Is that also a state where you are not being conscious? I mean, you're not going by your subconscious. You're just because mind is very creative. It imagines, right? And then it makes you believe that your imagination. I mean, it plays a good guy, a bad guy, both, right? So, so how does one move from there to the subconscious mind, where you know that this is just a creation, and it's like, how do you go beyond that? Like, how do you, I mean, simple words, how do you really control that mind?
See, mind is a chatterbox, as I said earlier. It's going to continuously have that, voice in your head, which is it's a continuous dialogue happening. Now, the tricky part of mind is that, it's coming from a premise where it wants to control you. Okay. Now, what needs to be done to get a hand over the mind is then coming to that state of being consciously aware that this is my mind, this is not me. That's what I said. If you can realize that you are having this conversation with your mind, that means there are two people involved. One is your mind and one is you. So getting to that realization that this is my mind and this is me. We are two separate entities as of now.
Okay, so does that mean self-realization? Like when you actually realize?
Yeah, kind of that. First step.
Mm.
When you're aware that your mind is not you, you are separate, your mind is separate. Your mind comes from the premise of altered ego.
Yeah, that was my next question. Then what is ego?
Ego is anything that gives you a, a high or a low is ego. Any pleasures, any, you know, not getting the right word, but anything that excites you or gives you pleasure, or the vice versa, is a premise of ego. It's called an egoistic mind.
Can you, like, is there an example? Like, I'm just getting confused between mind and ego.
Hey, ego is nothing but a state of the mind, a part of the mind. Egoistic mind, mind का एक part है where the pleasures, the goodies and the baddies, in the sense of, which gives some kind of a satisfaction. पेन में भी egoistic mind को satisfaction मिलती है. Okay, so something which is giving some kind of a rush, be it positive, be it negative, that is coming from the premise of an ego. But yeah, egoistic mind is a substantial part of your mind. Ego as such does not have a particular definition, or if there is, I am not aware of it. But the from where I come and from whatever limited knowledge I have, ego is nothing but a state of your mind where you are more inclined towards the pleasures and more inclined towards the pains. It's a state of a mind. That's why it's called egoistic mind. State keh lo, part keh lo. It's not the full mind. There are other things in the mind. But coming from the premise of ego is like one level of your ego. Is that clear, or we need more examples?
I think थोड़ा सा नहीं है क्लियर, मतलब थोड़ा हुआ है क्लियर.
So
Maybe little
let
bit.
this sulk in, let this sulk in. Let this thought first sulk in that you are having a conversation with your mind, and watch what the mind is saying.
Is
Watch.
ego that part of your mind that says that I am, what my belief is correct? Is it that part of the mind which makes your
Not
mind believe
exactly.
that this is
I
what? Yeah.
Not exactly, but yeah, ego is that part which gives you a pain or a pleasure. It said it boosts my ego. I'm deriving some pleasure. But whereas ego का premise pleasure और pain दोनों का होता है. It takes, it enjoys the pain also. Whatever gives you attention coming from the premise of ego. चाहे वो pain हो, चाहे वो pleasure हो. Ruchi just got me a dictionary definition. It says a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. He needed a boost to his ego. The part of the mind that meditates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Confusing for me, but yeah, as of now, I would like to go anything that gives you attention, be it pain, be it pleasure, is that part of the mind is the egoistic mind.
Okay. So maybe what it means is that part of my mind that makes me believe, because the mind needs importance to you, so you start believing that belief is the only belief that is correct. right? I mean, it
mind
would
is a
have.
servant sent to control you. At the end of the day, he's your servant. He's supposed to obey you, not control you. So ego is that part which gets the mind for that, pleasure and pain, that attention factor. So that's uh, I would say, the darker side of the mind. Could put it that way. The darker side of the mind, which is helping him become a controller rather than being somebody who actually is supposed to be, to obey you rather than control you. Dwell on this thought. We'll get more for this. The secret is to keep asking your mind questions regularly. The more questions you can ask, the more you will be in control of your mind. Your mind will be working with you and doing what you want it to do instead of working against you. I guess there is an answer here now. The secret is to keep asking your mind questions. The more questions you can ask, the more you will be in control of your mind. Your mind will be working with you and doing what you wanted to do instead of working against you. Sometimes your mind can take off like a freight train down a mountain without a driver. If you don't stay in control of it, you are the driver of your mind. So take charge and keep it busy with your instructions by telling it where you want it to go. Your mind only takes off on its own if you are not telling it what to do. The mind acts like an enemy for those who don't control it. Bhagavad Gita, 5th century BC, ancient Hindu text. Your mind is a powerful and magnificent tool you can use, but you must be in control of it. Rather than letting it distract you with out of control thoughts, you want your mind to help you give love. It doesn't take long to train your mind to focus on love. And once you have, just watch what happens to your life. That's it with the key of love. Tomorrow we will be talking about the key of gratitude. And I think the third key was the key of play. So we'll cover this chapter in 3 days. We talked about love, the key of love. We'll be talking about the key of gratitude. And day after tomorrow, we'll be talking about the key of play. Any doubts, any questions, any gray areas?